guys, welcome back to my channel. In this recipe, we're going to make some egg muffins or little mini egg frittatas that are really, really good. And I'm going to put the recipe down on the link below. So let's get started. All right, guys, for this recipe, you're going to need very few ingredients and it's really good. So you're going to need some sort of ham. I used the uncured smoked ham from Aldi. You can use leftover ham from if you made a ham. You only need about a cup of it chopped. You need 2 tablespoons of butter. You need a cup of shredded cheese. It's best to shred your own, but I have this, so I'm going to use it. You're going to need a half a cup of heavy cream, 8 eggs, and couple stalks of green onions or some other kind of onion chopped up. And that's really all you need, guys. Of course, a muffin pan, and I've heated my oven to 350. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to melt 2 tablespoons of our butter in the microwave. We're going to put that in the bottom of our cups and then add our green onions. So let's get to that. All right, so the butter is done. I'm going to go ahead and pour. Ooh, that's hot. Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and pour that butter into all of the little cups evenly. Yes, I'm using the silicone, so I don't really need to grease the pan. But it really makes the muffins taste really well, and you'll see why here in a second. And also have if you heat up your pan, it helps to not have them stick as much, mostly when you don't have the muffin cups. If you have the muffin cups, you don't have to heat up the pan. Okay, so next I'm going to take my green onions, and as you see I'm using freeze-dried ones, but you can just use a couple of stalks from the store chopped up, and you're just going to sprinkle them. You can also use chives. You're going to sprinkle them on top of that butter. And you're going to start to smell the aroma of your onions in here. If you don't like onions, don't do this part. Or if you don't have these green onions or chives, just use regular onions if you want to. Whatever you have. The original recipe was from, I think, Michael Simon from Food Network. And it just happens to be keto, but it's one of his recipes. And he shared it on Good Morning America. And I've made these muffin cups before, but I didn't really follow a recipe. When I used his recipe, I was like, oh, these are so good. So we're just going to let that sit like that while I mix up the eggs and cream. And then we're going to put our ham, which I've chopped up the ham, and our cheese in the bottom, and then fill the rest with the egg mixture. So let me get a bowl to mix up the egg mixture. All right, 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Then we're going to add 8 eggs. All right, I got my 8 eggs in there, my 1/2 cup of heavy cream. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of salt and pepper in here if I can get it to come out. Redmond's pink real salt. I'm going to get a whisk and whisk this together. All right, this is all whisked together, so I'm going to put this aside for a second. I'm going to go ahead and put my ham and my cheese in the bottom of all my muffin cups. Evenly distributed as best you can. And if you don't like ham or you're a vegetarian and not keto or whatever, you can put whatever vegetables in here you want and just use the main base as the, same the main egg base is what I'm trying to say with the heavy cream and butter and all the stuff. But these come out tasting so good. All right, so now for the cheese. Just gonna put about a tablespoon in each, something like that. The recipe calls for a cup of shredded cheese, so however that evens out around, all of them. I just eyeball it. don't want to overload them because you're going to put the egg mixture in here too, so you want to make sure you have room. The oven is hot. A little more in that one. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get a ladle and ladle in my egg mixture, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Okay, so I'm just ladling these one at a time. It's kind of hard to hold the camera and show you, but I just wanted you to see. And filling it up. Some of them might be a little more full than others, but just like so. We'll get these all finished up and show you what they look like and get them in the oven. Alright, these are all ready to go. I'm going to stick them in the oven. The oven is nice and hot at 350 for 30 minutes. All ovens vary, so I would always suggest checking like a couple minutes before that, just because your oven might be different. But they cooked perfectly at 30 minutes in my oven at 350. So I'm going to put them in. I'll show you what they look like when they come out. Alright guys, this is what they look like when they come out. They're so delicious, especially when they first come out of the oven. They are so good. And I usually eat like 2 of them, maybe 3 with some bacon. They will shrink up a little bit after you first, after you put them in the fridge to save. So that's why when I usually eat 3. But in the first day, I usually eat 2. With some bacon or something like that. Or avocado, you know, the usual. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Please like and subscribe down below if you haven't already. And tell me if you make these. I will link this recipe down below. It's not my recipe, but I've made similar. But this one is really good, so I want to make sure to share the original recipe with you. So I'm going to put it down below. Alright guys, have a great day.